Scripture is full of stories about paralyzed and lame individuals being healed, but one story's always stood out for me. That's because it seems so cruel. On the surface, what Jesus said to a lame man lying near the Bethesda pool in Jerusalem was mean. He asked, "Do you want to be healed?" I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan with a reflection on life and liberty. Okay, so let me back up. Myth had it when the waters of the Bethesda pool were disturbed by an angel, the first person to touch the water would be healed of their malady. So invalids, the blind, the paralyzed, and otherwise lame would gather there in hopes of being the first one in the water. So yes, Jesus, of course, the man wanted to be healed. Except, we all know people who don't. We all know people who are comfortable in their misery, who find their life's meaning and worth wrapped up in their suffering. But this man was different. He explained to Jesus how he had no one to help him move into the water at the first ripple. He wanted to be healed, but lacked anyone to help him. I see the same thing repeated every day. People who complain about the state of our country and who are angered by the news of the day. To be sure, there's a lot to be angry about. But some seem to find meaning in being angry. When given the opportunity to learn how to make a difference, they sniff and look away. They define themselves by their anger, and they are frankly comfortable with it. Others, though, are tired of sitting on the couch. They're ready to redefine themselves not as passive recipients of bad news, but as agents of action. These are people who want to make a difference in their communities, schools, state, and nation. They're just waiting for someone to help them get started. Of course, Jesus healed the man and didn't even require him to get wet. Scripture tells us the man then couldn't stop telling everyone he met about what had been done for him. We don't know what else he did with his life, but I suspect the man didn't slow down for the rest of his days, nor could he stop talking about how he had been healed and by whom. So what about us? It's certainly easier to make fun of those people who stay on the couch and yell at the cable news shows. We tell ourselves they should know better. But did we? We sometimes forget what it was like when we first felt those stirrings of civic engagement. We tend to forget the help we got. Our nation needs us to define ourselves not by our anger, but by our willingness to stand up and get to work. And as a self-governing people, we must be willing to grab those who are likewise eager to be effective citizens. The Reflections podcast is presented by Texas Scorecard. This edition was produced by Nick Shepard in the 1836 studios. If you like today's reflection, please take a moment to rate it, leave a review, and recommend it to your friends. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan. Thanks for listening.